Yo, what's up guys? Chase Arevalo, and in this video we're going to be breaking down Ben Shelton versus Frances Tiafoe in the 2024 US Open Round 3. Let's get straight into it. If you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Chase, and I coach at IMG Academy. I was a director at the Rick Macy Academy, and yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments below or DM me on Instagram at Chase Arevalo. So let's get straight into it.
In a nutshell, Jim.
Stunning returns. Yep. I told Craig on text earlier today, keep your phone handy. I'm sure it'll be ringing.
So he goes slice out wide. Ben Shelton goes slice out wide. The serve breaks the sideline within the service box. Frances Tiafoe is returning it in the doubles alley. He's actually returning it technically outside of the doubles alley. And look at the footwork of Frances's return here. So he splits. He puts his weight onto his left leg, his left foot. He pushes off the left foot, makes contact, and then the right foot touches down. And then he does a crossover step recovery going back to the middle. Open stance. He goes cross. Ben Shelton goes down the line. That's way too early in the rally to go line there. Not the right opportunity for him. So Frances should hit a winner cross court here. Oh. Or hit it on the net. Oh man. Oh man.
That is what they came to see. Game. On the screen next to David Witt. That's the longtime friend, hitting partner, and coach of Frances.
Yeah, good decision to go lob.
That's nice.
Good decision to go lob. The best error on the lob is missing it long. At this level, you can't give your opponent an overhead. He did a good job going over Frances's backhand side, but he still hit it way too short. Yeah, he's got to give it more air. I mean, look, you're playing outside, bro, right? There's unlimited height in the air for you to hit the lob. So there's no reason to be tentative with the height on the lob. Go for it.
That's nice.
It's a good swing volley by Frances. So he goes forehand cross, gets a short ball. Now, he's on his backhand side, so this is technically an inside-out forehand. Now, so he has a decision. Am I going to go down the line, or am I going to go inside-out cross court? Can I hit a winner cross court? If yes, go for that. If not, you got to go down the line. So let's see if he can hit a winner cross court. He could, and that's what he did. So there's a rhyme and a reason why these pros make the decisions that they do. They're not just whacking the ball wherever they feel like it. There's a rhyme and a reason behind it. Let's continue.
Thinking about starting to run on the treadmill again. I need to drop my belly fat.
Yeah, no, that's total BS.
Nice. Let's go, Frances. TC, no way. TC's there.
Keep going to the same shot at second serve to the body forehand, or when do you make the switch? When do you try and change things up? And probably the best backhand return that Tiafoe has made all match.
Great technique by TC right here. Incredible technique. Goated fitness coach, by the way. If you don't know TC, goated fitness coach. when I was training, when I was training in College Park, Maryland, he's our fitness coach. Total legend.
Tiafoe's backhand is such a simple, flat swing, guys. It's really reminiscent of Nick Kyrgios's. I'm not sure if he was retired commentator, but it's really reminiscent of Nick Kyrgios. Tiafoe's backhand is such a simple, flat.
Notice on his backhand volley how he's preparing. Notice how high his racket head is. One great correction for your backhand volley is set up too high. If you notice the angle of his elbows, they're going to be more close to like this than like really down with the elbows, right? So when you're preparing on your backhand volley, set up too high on your backhand volley. It will help you clean up your stroke.
Swing, guys. It's really reminiscent of Nick Kyrgios.
Notice how he also stops the racket at contact and maintains this angle with the strings. He's not overdoing it, flipping the racket forward, internally rotating his shoulder. He goes a little bit at contact, but then he maintains the external rotation. Which is basically kind of, actually technically it's internal rotation, I guess. Yeah, it's internal rotation. I guess external rotation would be when he's going to the ball, but he maintains the internal rotation, which keeps the lean of the rackets.
Not sure if he was retired commentator, but
he's wearing a few hats.
It's a great backhand that both of those men possess, and it is serve at that shot at your peril. Because Francis just...
Shelton got the first set. Let's see. So again, that's a really good shot by Ben Shelton. But if you're Francis Tiafoe, that's great because like that's the best way to lose the point. If your opponent can beat you time and time again with that like backhand reverse overhead, that's just too good, right? But notice there's a reason why Francis lobbed over his backhand side. Because if he doesn't execute it well and his opponent gets there, they have to beat him with a very difficult shot. So he's still playing his percentages well there. That's just a really good shot.
Snaps in the crowd every now and then when he plays.
It's a good pickup also. Look at the pickup from Ben Shelton here.
Snaps in the crowd.
Look at the pickup. He squares the racket with the ground so it's level. It's not super tilted one way or the other. And he just picks it up. The racket's on the ground and it just goes up. You're not slicing down, you're picking it up.
Now and then.
And notice how it's very simple. He basically lets the ball bounce off the strings and does a little pickup. That's it. A lot of players, they try to do too much when in reality, just let the ball bounce off your strings.
Plays a good point.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, if you can beat me with that shot, that's just too good, right? So if you're going to lose the point, it should be that way. So if I were feeding balls to somebody, right, and they're practicing their lob and they hit it like that, what I would recommend is to focus on going up with their elbows more when they follow through. And obviously focusing on the height component, but something technically to work on is just making sure when you're getting under that ball and you're continuing to go through after contact, you make sure you go up with the elbows and really exaggerate that. So that's one tip you can apply today in your practice when you practice your lob. And that's actually relevant for any ball you really want to get under and get a lot of height and get a lot of just getting under the ball a lot and getting a lot of brush and height on it. So if you're ever struggling with that, that's how you can clean it up.
It's a crispy angle.
There's a lot of them out there, right?
Some of them are.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an epidemic.
Yeah.
So notice, I want to break down something very simple on Ben Shelton's forehand here.
Epidemic.
Look. He's keeping the left hand on the racket. I'm actually going to slow-mo this so we can actually see the real slow-mo timing here. Look at Ben Shelton keeping his offhand on the racket extremely long. He's staying connected for a long duration of time. Look. Hold up, let's meet that. Take a look. Francis is going into his motion. Ben Shelton's going to split step. He's already trying to find his forehand. Splits. Left hand's on the racket. Notice the ball already bounced. So he's even doing it more extreme. What I notice is the pattern that I've noticed is with better athletes, they can swing the racket even faster and have better timing and better coordination. So they can even hold the racket even a little bit longer. So the higher level you get, the longer you're probably going to want to stay connected with the racket. He's lefty, so he holds it with his right hand. But this is something that you can apply for your own forehand. All right, you're going to see most of the best players doing this. And the ones who don't, I would argue, they would be significantly better, technically speaking, if they did that. I think there's really no argument to say that it would hurt them for sure. All right, we're good. We're good. Again, he lets go of the racket. Open stance, good. Francis Tiafoe turns and shows his right shoulder blade to his opponent. So that's how you know he's turned enough. The racket head is above his wrist and his strings are more facing the side fence. And his left elbow, notice how it went from bent when he's preparing. I'll do it from this angle. It's going from bent. When he goes forward, his left elbow goes straight. It's bent and then it becomes straight. So let's go back a little bit to see on this backhand. Notice how when he prepares, notice it's a little bit bent before and then it straightens out when he goes to the ball. His backhand technique is really, really good, but it's important to understand why it's good. What are the things that he's doing that I can replicate as well? Like, that's what you got to understand. Now, let's go back to full speed. And let's...
Third out of 50 players in doing that.
Good angle. Wow. So he gets the short ball. This is an approach shot here. Can I hit a winner cross court? Can I hit a winner cross court? If not, go down the line. If I have any doubt that I cannot hit a winner cross court, I'm gonna go down the line. Let's see what Francis does. Boom, he goes down the line. There's a reason why that is, guys. There's a reason why that is.
That slice wasn't quite effective enough. Last year, it's led by Casper Ruud, and then you go to a bunch.
Francis also does that. He keeps the left hand on the racket until the ball bounces. Look.
Last year, it's led by
Slice.
Casper Ruud, and then you go to a
He actually grabbed the racket for a second there.
one-handed
Boom.
backhands, right? You
Got connected again. And then ripped it line.
You still have to have a decent return game to be a top 10 player, Jim.
Cross, good. So look, that's obviously a great shot by Ben Shelton, but let's take a look at what Francis could have done better there. And let's see like what was the possible mistake he made. So he's in the rally. Ben Shelton gives him a short ball. Francis has to make a decision. All right, if I was his coach, I'd be like, can you hit a winner cross court? You can? Go for cross court. If there's any doubt, like your opponent is on the side that you're trying to go to, and they're staying on that side, right? There might be some doubt that you can hit a winner cross court, potentially. So if there's any doubt like that, you got to go down the line here. So he's going cross court on the approach shot, which automatically is just going to be a lower percentage opportunity than if he were to have gone down the line. There is another factor of I'm going to his backhand instead of his forehand. So I get that component, but still you're going to be vulnerable here, right? Ben Shelton did a good job giving him a tough volley, made him play a low volley, Francis did a job with that volley, but I mean, at this level, that's floating. That's a floating volley. And Ben Shelton hit a great ball cross court there. But yeah, so in my opinion, that all stemmed from him going cross court on the approach shot instead of down the line. He would have been in a more difficult position to pass if he were to have gone down the line on that shot. It would have put Ben Shelton in a more damaging position movement-wise. However, Ben Shelton would have had a forehand on the run. So you could argue maybe he would have rather taken his chance on his backhand side. But yeah, if I were Francis, I would have gone down the line there.
Beautiful forehand there. Gets a chance here at 15-30. Where does Shelton fall?
Yeah, he's up a bit. He's at 33.1. A little bit up from 32.6% last year, which was one of the lowest.
Good job coming in there. Francis realized his opponent was going to slice the ball on the run way behind the baseline. That's a recipe to float the ball. So Francis took advantage of that. He came into net, put it away. Very good awareness on Francis's end.
Yeah, let that spin die out a bit. I think the spin has been undoing him on a couple of occasions.
Good open stance from Ben Shelton. Waits on his outside foot. Rips it line. Oh, that's a good ball by Francis. That's really good. Let's take a look again. Open stance. Notice. Open stance. Most people don't understand. They see this ball, they see it full speed, and they don't actually realize what's happening. This is technically an open stance forehand. Look at it. Look at this. Let's put it in slow-mo. Look, he's running up to it. He's going open stance. Look, he plants with his left. Look, right? Left foot touches, contact, and then the right foot touches now. It's very clear. It's extremely clear and abundantly evident what the pattern is there. So on short balls, you can practice this footwork pattern too. Notice how he's flowing through it, running through it. And this is kind of the extreme end on that side of like running through it, right? But it can happen very similar even if it's like more floating around the service line, right? You just don't have to go as hard through the ball and sprint through it as fast. You can do it a little bit more slowly and then get yourself a little bit more stable at contact, but you're still going to be kind of flowing through it. So you can also practice that. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments below. Feel free to DM me on Instagram. And yeah, my Instagram is @ChaseArevalo. And yeah, if you got any value out of this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.